The stars were silent, but silence could lie. In the cold edge of the Orion Drift, a salvage ship named Screetle S-Claw drifted above a dead world. Its metal hull groaned as it entered the orbit of a forgotten planet, a ruined ball of ash, with no atmosphere and no life signs. The scanners called it Sector Black Echo 13. No name, no history, just ruins. Captain Jorkov clicked his mandibles. Another rock, he grumbled. His crew, a dozen insectoid scavengers from the Crowleyan Guild, moved around the ship, preparing to descend. They had no idea what this planet was. They didn't care. They were here to loot. Jork opened the comms. Prepare to land. Strip anything worth credits. Old tech, metals, data, causes, specially human stuff. His second in command, Sliss, raised an ice pike. Humans haven't been seen for over 500 cycles. Not since the Council erased their homeworld, Jorkov hissed. Exactly. Their junk cells high now. Rare. Forbidden. This planet's readings match pre-collapse Earth specs. Could be a lost colony. Sliss nodded. The ship dropped into the ruins. It was night on the surface, not because of time, but because the sun was dead. The sky was black. The buildings shattered. Towers leaned like broken teeth. The wind carried dust made from cities. Everything was silent, until a soft pulse echoed from beneath the ground. Ping. Just once. Then again. Ping. Sliss checked his scanner. What is that? Jorkov froze. That's not random radiation. They followed the signal that had led them to a buried dome, half sunk in rock and ash. Its glass roof cracked but still standing. Around it, the bones of a human city. Roads melted. Cars turned to rusted shells. And written in faint paint across a wall, New Chicago, Earth United, 4212 AD. Sliss backed away. No, this can't be. Earth was destroyed. Jorkov stared at the message. Then what are we standing on? He looked at the sky. No moon. This was Earth. The real Earth. And it wasn't entirely dead. Inside the dome, they found something worse. A machine, human-built, large, covered in ice and dust. Its lights blinked red. A beacon, the kind used in war. It was still active. One of the Crowleyan techs leaned closer. This thing is old, pre-collapse, but it's running on dark energy. That tech's illegal, Jorkov growled. That tech is human. They were ahead of us all. That's why the Council wiped them. The machine blinked. Then it spoke. Not loud, just a whisper through the static. Message. To anyone out there, Earth is not gone. Earth remembers. The crew froze. Then something changed. From the far side of the dome, a metal door groaned open. It wasn't supposed to work. The city was dead, but now it had power. Inside the door, lights came on. A tunnel, a hallway, air hissed into the room, and a shape stepped out. Not a Crowleyan, a human, wrapped in a black armored suit, helmet glowing red. No voice, no signal, just a look. Jorkov raised his weapon. Stay back. The figure didn't move until it did fast. Too fast. Blaster fire lit up the ruins. Screams echoed into the sky. Sliss ran, slipping in the ash, while behind him his crew was torn apart, one by one, not by many enemies, just one. The human moved, like a ghost, silent, precise, merciless. Sliss jumped into the ship and hit the emergency lift. Go, go. The Screetle S-Claw launched upward, engines screaming. They escaped, but not before a single message followed them, burned into their ship's data log by the human beacon. You tried to erase us. We remember. We are coming back on their homeworld. The Crowleyan Guild reviewed the footage. They debated erasing it. They feared panic. But someone had already leaked it. Within a day, the video spread across black markets, rebel networks, and exiled colonies. Humans were alive. Not just alive. Dangerous. They had survived the betrayal. And they hadn't forgiven. Across the stars, the High Council met in secret. We buried Earth, said the Syrexian warlord. We wiped their records. Burned their worlds. They are not supposed to exist, but they do, said the Varkan Chancellor. And now, they're hunting us. A silence filled the chamber. Then the elder said what none dared speak. Earth has returned, and they have a score to settle. Somewhere in deep space, beyond charted systems, an ancient fleet drifted in the dark. No flags. No transponders. Just black ships with human markings. One ship lit up. Engines powered on. The words on its hull were burned and scratched, but still. Clear ENS, vengeance and the captain opened a file. It had one list, names, species, targets, at the bottom, one sentence. Mission, pay them back. The captain smiled. Time to wake up the others. The galaxy was shaking and it didn't even know it yet. In the deep shadows between stars, a fleet of black ships moved like a silent storm. No signals, no broadcasts, just dark metal and cold engines. They were not pirates, not traders, they were human, and they were ready to remind the galaxy what fear meant. Captain Riker stood on the command deck of the ENS Vengeance. His armor was old, scratched, burned in 3 wars, but he wore it like skin. Beside him, a woman with cybernetic eyes studied a glowing map. Her name was Nova, Cade, intel officer, hacker, ghost in the machine. She zoomed into a flashing point on the map. The Crolian salvage crew broke the dome on Earth. They triggered the beacon. Riker nodded. Good. Nova frowned. Good. That signal told the whole galaxy we're alive. Riker's eyes burned. That's the point. Centuries ago, Earth was attacked by the Galactic Council. The Council said humans were too dangerous, too unpredictable, too strong. So they came in secret. They dropped fire on cities, bioplagues in oceans, EMPs in the sky. The planet burnt. And when it was done, they erased Earth from star maps. The Council told the galaxy, Earth is gone, but they were wrong. Some humans escaped into deep space, black sites, hidden colonies. They waited. They rebuilt, and they remembered. Riker looked across the deck. The crew was silent. Veterans, engineers, warborn, survivors. All raised on one belief: we don't forgive, we don't forget. Riker spoke to them. It's time. Activate. Ghost protocol. Alarms pulsed red. Across the Vengeance, engines fired. Ships woke from cold sleep. Dozens, then hundreds. Ghost ships. Each carrying weapons built from Earth's darkest tech, antimatter charges, neural disruptors, and planet dashbreakers. Earth didn't come back with peace. It came with a reckoning. Meanwhile, the galaxy stayed blind. On Varnek Prime, the Council members celebrated. They believed Earth was still ash. They believed humans were extinct, but their joy wouldn't last, because the first message had just arrived. A space station in the Vargan belt was found. Empty. No life signs, no black box. Just a word burned into the metal wall in Terran script. One down. Soon, other attacks followed. Small outposts, secret labs. Old war prisons. Each one gone. Clean. Precise. No civilians, no stray fire, just the targets eliminated. The style was familiar. Old species remembered it from the Forgotten Wars. Human style. But the Council refused to admit it until they received a live message. It came from a hacked Council signal buoy. Human face appeared on every major planet. It was Riker. His voice was cold, his words simple. This is Captain Riker of Earth United Command. You tried to destroy us. You lied to the galaxy. Now you face the truth. We are not gone. We are not weak. And we are not done. The feed cut. Panic began. Some species wanted to surrender. Others prepared to fight. But deep inside the Council's vaults, secrets were opening. Files marked Class Omega, recordings of the original purge, the bombs, the betrayals, the genocide, had the proof. And now it was spreading. World by world. Byte by byte. Truth was becoming the most dangerous weapon on the Vengeance. Riker watched it all. Nova stepped beside him. They're scared. Riker's reply was cold. They should be. She hesitated. How far are we going? Riker looked at a name glowing red on his terminal. Varnak Prime Council HQ. He clenched his fist. We finish what they started. One deck below. In the cryo bay, thousands of soldiers lay sleeping. Not clones. Not machines. Humans. Survivors from old Earth. Each one hand-picked. Each one trained in war. The lights above their pods turned green. The ship's AI spoke one line. Revenge sequence initiated. Far away, in a quiet part of the galaxy, a merchant ship picked up a strange signal. It was music, old Earth music, soft, melancholy, then a whisper over the track. The ghosts of Earth are awake, and the stars will burn. The galaxy still slept, but death was already moving. No sound, no warning, only silence, followed by nothing. The mining world of Droskar 5 was busy that day. Giant machines dug deep into the rock. Workers loaded fuel. Ships came and went. The sky above was filled with freighters, and the orbital control tower blinked with lights. Then everything stopped. The lights blinked once more, then never again. From deep space, something moved. Not a ship, not a missile. Just a shape. Black, silent. It slid through shields like water. No alarms, no detection. Inside the station, the crew sat in confusion as the power dropped to 0. Doors locked. Air thinned. And then it came. A signal, not from Droskar, from Earth. You sold us out. You mined our bones, now you pay the price. Seconds later, the station turned to ash. No explosion. No flame. Just silence. And then, void. Captain Riker watched from the bridge of the Vengeance, a silent kill, one of many, across the galaxy. Ghost fleets moved through space, striking only where it mattered. Council-linked systems, war-era suppliers, slave world controllers. No civilian planets, no collateral damage. Every attack was surgical, brutal, silent. Back at Council HQ, the leaders were panicking in the grand chambers of Varnak Prime. Ambassadors argued and screamed, "They are ghosts. They have weapons we cannot track. They must be stopped." But no one had a plan. The humans weren't sending armies, they were sending messages. And with each strike, the same line appeared. "You forgot us, but we never forgot you." Admiral Krell of the Targax Navy stood to speak. His voice was calm. "We underestimated the Death World." As a silence fell, he walked to the center screen, showing recent destroyed sites, all high-value targets, all war-linked, zero collateral. He looked around. "This is not mindless revenge, it's justice." Another ambassador spat. "Justice. They are killing thousands." Krell turned to him. "And how many did we kill on Earth? 10 million? 100? No one answered. Far from the Council's halls, a small crew of smugglers flew through the Kragoth wastes. They laughed, drank, played music, then their ship stopped dead. Their lights flickered, their AI stuttered. A single message flashed on their screen: "Cargo scanned. Council tech detected. Return it, or be returned to dust." They looked at each other. It was just a crater weapon core sold on the black market. They ejected it. Immediately. 10 seconds later, their ship powered back on. No attack. No words. Just a warning obeyed. Back on the Vengeance, Novacade reviewed signals. "We've hit 23 targets, not a single trace left behind. The Council is shaking." Riker stared at the map. Good. Nova hesitated. "What about Phase 2? Riker turned. "Bring in the strikers." Across deep space, special ops units woke from CRYO. Elite humans, cloaked in stealth armor, each one trained for one thing: infiltration and elimination. They didn't fly ships, they dropped from them, straight into planets, silent meteors from the sky. On Tornik 3, a weapons lab blinked out. Inside, guards never saw them coming. One by one, scientists were tagged and extracted. Some were killed, others captured. Striker teams didn't just destroy, they collected data, evidence, secrets, proof of what the Council had done, and the proof was coming out. On every pirate channel, on every outlaw stream. Images of Earth before the purge, before the betrayal, and files from Council meetings showing orders for planetary erasure. The galaxy gasped. The truth was too big to hide. The Council's lies had broken, and humanity's name was no longer a myth. It was a reckoning. In a distant bar on the moonworld of Glazarin, an old trader lifted his glass. He watched the screen. As Earth's flag appeared on a hijacked Council broadcast, a simple message played: "We tried peace. You gave us fire. Now you get it back." He raised his drink. "To the ghosts," he whispered. "Burn them all." The sky over Belthar Prime burned red. Not from the sun. From the wreckage falling from orbit. Debris rained down like metal rain. Smoldering, broken, silent. People looked up. Soldiers screamed. Sirens blared. A massive space station once home to Council fleets was now just pieces. Shattered. Floating fire on the ground, scorched into the soil by plasma. A message: "You were warned." 3 hours earlier, the Council command hub above Belthar was fully operational. Guards patrolled the decks. Drones hovered. Generals met inside secure chambers, whispering of war. They thought they were safe. They weren't, because above them, hidden, behind the moon's shadow, a black fleet waited. Human ships. No signals, no IDs, no warnings, only one countdown. And when it hit 0, Belthor lost the sky. Captain Riker stood aboard the ENS Vengeance, eyes cold, fire, weapons locked. 10 kinetic rods, pure tungsten, no explosives fired from orbit. They hit the Council station at Mach 15. No defense. No reaction time. Just metal tearing through steel, fire cutting the dark, and silence where power once ruled. Back on the ground, Council soldiers ran through the rubble. Some looked for survivors, others looked for answers. But what they found instead was a message capsule, still glowing in the ruins. One soldier opened it. The screen flashed. "You erased Earth. You lied. This is justice." Then the screen melted. No trace. No evidence left behind. Only fear. Across the galaxy, systems began shutting down, not from war, from panic. Ships stopped. moving, cargo routes were frozen. Council banks locked their accounts. The galaxy wasn't just afraid of humans, it was afraid of what humans knew. Because the more data the Ghost Fleet leaked, the more the Council's crimes came to light. Billions watched secret videos, Earth's cities being burned, children screaming, old soldiers shot on live feeds, and in every video, a timestamp year 4212. Council Purge Directive. Species that once followed the Council now turned away. Even some Council worlds rebelled. On Zurich 9, a group of students painted human flags on their dorms. They didn't hate Earth anymore. They understood it, they said. If it happened to Earth, it could happen to anyone. On the Vengeance, Nova reported the latest data to Riker. 5 systems have gone neutral. 2 are offering info. 3 more are arming against the Council. Riker stared at the screen. This is the beginning. Nova leaned in. They're calling us terrorists, you know. Riker didn't blink. No, we're reminders. But not. Everyone was turning. On Draction 5, a Council admiral made a speech on live galactic stream. Humanity is a threat. A dangerous species. They were wiped for a reason. But seconds after the stream aired, the admiral's ship exploded on live broadcast. The humans never took credit. They didn't need to. The fear did it for them. On backwater planets, smugglers whispered rumors. Earth's fleet is made of invisible ships. They have AI that can melt your brain. They drop soldiers in the dark, and you never see them again. Most of it wasn't true, but it didn't matter, because the Council had done something worse than fight Earth. They had made everyone remember them. And now, Earth wasn't a story anymore, it was a movement. In the deep void, a group of rogue captains gathered, human, alien, hybrid, all of them survivors of Council betrayal. They swore a new oath. No more lies, no more peace through power. If Earth is rising, we rise too. They called themselves the Ashburn Pact. Their symbol, a broken star, set on fire, and they painted it on their ships as a warning. Meanwhile, Riker prepared the next move. He stood before his cryo troops. Thousands of eyes opened in the cold blue glow. He spoke loud and clear. 10 systems destroyed Earth. A silence. 10 systems will pay. Another silence. Then, we do not wipe planets. We remind them why they feared us, and we make sure they never forget again. In a dark corner of space, a new station came online. Built by the humans. Black metal, cloaked tech, solar-charged weapons. Its name, Echo 1. A message played on its opening transmission. Not a war threat. A reminder, we are the children of a burned world. But fire made us stronger. And now, we write warnings in flame. In the cold black of Sector 9, a Council warship floated quietly. It was huge, heavily armed. Thick armor. Multiple engines. A predator built for battle. The CSS Tyrant. Once feared across the stars. Now, it was afraid. On the bridge, Admiral Vor scanned the sensors. All systems green, the AI reported. No threats detected. But Vor didn't relax. He had seen the vids. Outposts turning to ash. Labs wiped from orbit. Council fleets disappearing without a trace. And always the same. Message left behind. You hunted us, now we hunt you. Vor looked around his bridge. Top officers, best equipment, full escort fleet. Still, he felt cold, because the enemy wasn't playing fair. Humans didn't announce war. They appeared like ghosts, struck with perfect precision, and left nothing behind. Just then, the ship's lights flickered. A chill moved through the crew. EMP spike. Vor asked. No source. No impact. The engineer replied. But the lights dimmed again, and then the alarms started. Not from outside. From inside. Security feeds blinked to static. Doors jammed open. One by one. Crew members vanished from sensors. Not dead. Not escaping. Just. Gone. Vorr drew his plasma pistol and shouted, "Lock down the ship." But it was too late. In the shadows of the lower decks, black armored soldiers moved. Human strikers. Stealth suits. Neural disruptors. Blades that cut through sound and steel. They moved like shadows. Killed like whispers. Each target marked on their HUD. Each step taken without hesitation. On the bridge, Vor watched in horror as his crew fell. No gunfire, just blips vanishing from screens. Where are they? He shouted. Everywhere. The AI whispered. Then it died. Outside the ship, the Council escort fleet picked up no signs. Everything looked normal until the CSS Tyrant exploded from the inside. No escape pods. No distress call. Just one word broadcast. Across every channel. Balance. Back on the ENS Vengeance, Captain Riker reviewed the footage. Nova stepped beside him. That's 3 He Command kills this week. The Council's top brass is collapsing. Riker nodded. Good. Now we hit their heart. Nova zoomed in on the map highlighting the core council sector, Varnak Prime. Riker's voice turned dark. No, not yet. First, we break their network. Blind them. Across space, humans launched Operation Eclipse. A full cyber blackout. AI viruses hit council servers. Satellites spun out of control. Communication hubs fried in 1 hour. Half the galaxy couldn't talk to the other half. Chaos spread, and humanity smiled. Meanwhile, deep inside the council's security fortress on Krelos, General Inrix shouted orders. We are under full-scale digital siege. Back up everything. But the files were already gone. Stolen. By Earth's AI ghosts. Programs with names like Ashcode and Ghost Mirror. Each one built by survivors of Earth's fall. Each one made to do one thing: turn the Council's power against itself. Soon, Council patrol ships fired on friendly vessels tricked by false IDs. Supply convoys got lost in war zones. Colonies missed medicine shipments, and on every screen hacked by Earth. This message appeared: control is an illusion. Council fleets started hunting Earth ships. But the more they searched, the more they failed, because Earth's ships didn't play by rules. They used wormholes. Others feared they hacked gates. Mid-jump, they spoofed IDs, pretending to be Council allies. And when the trap was perfect, they struck. Hard, fast, without mercy. On Kraton 7, a fleet of 10 Council cruisers was ambushed by one human destroyer. The result: only dust remained. The cruisers never even got off a shot. Alien captains began deserting the Council. Some fled. Some surrendered. Others joined the Ashburn Pact, carrying human flags on their ships, whispering one new rule: you don't chase Earth, Earth chases you. In the deep, frozen ruins of old Lunar Base, an ancient Terran AI came online. That it was old, angry, and smart. The Council once tried to delete it, but it survived now. Earth's fleet gave it a new mission: hunt the hunters. The AI smiled through code. Let's begin. Every fleet that once hunted Earth, every admiral who laughed at human weakness, now felt the dark truth. They were prey, and the death-callers, they were coming. The galaxy had never known real fear. Wars had happened, planets had burned, species had gone extinct, but it was always done with rules. Wars were declared, peace talks were offered. There was time to run, to hide, to surrender. But when Earth returned, there were no rules left. There was only silence, and that silence was now falling apart. The Council's great hall on Varnak Prime was in chaos. Dozens of ambassadors screamed across the chambers. Holographic war maps showed red zones, spreading like wildfire across the galaxy. These were not battles, these were executions. One ambassador cried, "We were the hunters. Now we are hiding in bunkers." Another roared, "They attack without warning, without honor." The Cravante representative slammed a fist into the table. "You erased them first. Now they returned the favor." And still, no one had a solution, because humanity's war wasn't loud, it wasn't messy, it was like a scalpel in the dark, precise, silent, unstoppable in the black space between Council sectors. A station named Silent Beacon floated cold and dead. Once, it was the most secure data vault in known space. Now, its systems were frozen, its crew was missing. No blast marks, no broken doors, no damage at all, just a single carved message in the steel floor. For every scream Earth made, we answer with silence. Inside the Vengeance, Earth's Titan-class flagship, Captain Riker stood before a glowing galaxy map. Nova Cade joined him, tired but focused. 74 Council outposts. Down, she said. No survivors, no evidence, not one trail left behind. Riker didn't smile. "We're not here for medals." Nova paused. And Varnak Prime, Riker's eyes narrowed. "We leave that for last. First we take their voice." At that moment, across thousands of light years, Operation Black Echo began. The goal: destroy every Council communications node. Not jam them, not disrupt them, erase them in a hidden moonbase. Earth's AI units launched data bombs. Each bomb was like a virus, living, learning, evolving. They didn't just shut down comms, they rewrote Council code, infected their servers, and looped false information to turn allies against each other. Admirals received fake orders. Fleets were sent to the wrong sectors. Reinforcements arrived at empty battlefields and disappeared. On Tarnus 3, a Council signal tower overloaded. Its AI screamed as Earth's code tore through its core. Flames rose, sparks flew, and when the tower collapsed, a single drone flew up from the rubble. It displayed one message: "We heard your silence. Now here are ours." Within 48 hours, 65% of Council space was blacked out. No calls, no commands, no backup. Fleet captains sat in silent ships, unsure whether to move or hide. A single phrase began to spread among soldiers. When the signal dies, they're coming. Not all humans fought with guns. Some fought with truth. On outlaw channels, Earth's rogue A is leaked more council files, videos, maps, names, proof that the council ordered Earth's death, not as war but as an experiment, to see if a death species could be wiped out, to test galactic control limits. Billions of aliens who once called Earth violent now called it a victim. They stopped asking, why are the humans doing this? And started asking, why did we ever follow the council? Across 11 council planets, riots erupted. Statues of council leaders were pulled down. On Thelios, soldiers shot their own commanders for hiding the truth. And on Gorvex Station, one simple graffiti covered an entire sky dome. Earth was right. In the shadows of all this, Earth's hidden fleet grew bolder. They no longer struck one ship at a time. They struck entire armored. And in the Peleron Nebula, a council fleet of 25 ships formed a blockade. No one expected a frontal attack, especially not from a single ship. But that's what came. ENS Rathbone, a destroyer-class human vessel with prototype armor and plasma core drives. It appeared from a folded slipspace tier. Alone. Charging. One captain laughed. It's suicide. Then Rathbone fired a planet cracker cannon. The beam cut through 3 ships in one shot. Shields melted, engines failed, and within 3 minutes, only wreckage floated in the nebula. The Rathbone didn't stay. It just left, leaving the last message on open channel: next time, send more. Back on Varnak Prime, the Council finally saw the truth. Their power was broken, their fleets were shattered, their secrets were exposed, and Earth had not yet even come for their capital. The silence wasn't safety, it was the warning. Inside a hidden chamber, the last surviving Purge architect, a gray-skinned old alien named Shorel, spoke to his guards. We were wrong, he said. He trembled. We thought Deathworlders could be erased. He held up a human photo, a picture of a burned Earth child, clutching a teddy bear in the ashes. We made this, Shorel whispered. And now we must face what we made. He turned to his guards. I will send a message to the humans. I will beg for mercy. But it was too late. A shadow moved. The lights died, and Shorel's guards fell, one by one. Before Shorel could run, a voice whispered behind him, the dead don't need mercy. And Shorel saw nothing more. From the Vengeance's bridge, Nova reported, final Purge architect, confirmed, eliminated. Riker's voice was ice. Then silence has truly fallen. He stepped forward, eyes locked on the last red dot on the map, Varnak Prime, the Council's throne world there, capital. Their pride. Riker looked to his crew. No more warnings. Nova nodded. Are we going loud? Riker turned to the fleet behind them, hundreds of ships, thousands of soldiers, a whole world watching, and said, let's make some noise. The planet, Varnak Prime, was quiet. Too quiet. The Council's grand capital, once filled with diplomats, fleets, traders, and towering cities, now felt like a tomb. Shimmering towers stood tall but empty. Streets once alive with banners and parades, now echoed with nothing but wind. Above the planet, a thick defense grid waited, silent and tense. Tens of thousands of drones, orbital cannons. Auto defense, satellites, and an elite fleet of Council warships. The last wall, the final stand. In the shadow of Varnak's twin moons, Earth's war fleet arrived. Hundreds of ships shimmered out of folded space. Black steel, red markings. No flags, no mercy. On the bridge of the ENS Vengeance, Captain Riker stood calm. His officers were silent, ready. Nova looked up from her station. They haven't fired. They're scared, Riker said. They're waiting for us to talk. He leaned forward. But speak in the only language they gave us. Earth's fleet opened fire. No warning. No demands. Just fire. Titan cannons unleashed. Solar-class beams, drone clusters swarmed like angry hornets, tearing through enemy lines. Earth's stealth bombers emerged from folded shadow zones, charges directly into the enemy hangars. The sky above Varnak turned, red. Then black. Then white hot. On the Council's command ship Nexus Crown, Admiral Valeric screamed orders. Hold the line. Activate satellite shields. Redirect all power to core defenses. But it was hopeless. Earth's AI had already infected the command systems. Days before the fleet arrived, missiles misfire. Shields dropped mid-battle. Council ships turned on each Other confused by false targets. Their own network was lying to them, because Earth's code was truthless and perfect. In just 17 minutes, Earth's warfleet broke the unbreakable line. The once great council fleet was reduced to wreckage and flame, and Riker hadn't even left his chair yet. On the ground, panic spread like wildfire. Varnek's people, Legionnaires, scientists, soldiers, civilians looked up and saw fire falling. No pods, drop pods, thousands of them, each one carrying Ashburn commandos, Ironborn troopers, and Earth's Black Ops cyber assassins. These weren't soldiers from a country, these were soldiers from a graveyard. Inside the council throne complex, panic turned to terror. The last High Chancellor Ulysses ordered a lockdown, seal the palace, ready the Supreme Guard. But the guards were already dying. Not by bombs, not by bullets, by code. Their implants melted from inside, their weapons jammed, their armor turned off. Then the walls exploded, and humans walked through the fire. Nova led the charge through the grand hallway. She carried dual pulse rifles, her face cold. An alien screamed, "Mercy." She fired once. The scream stopped. "We asked for mercy," Nova said. "You answered with fire." Now, it was Earth's turn. Captain Riker walked slowly through the smoke-filled council chambers. He wore no helmet. He wanted them to see, to know exactly who had come for them. Council leaders knelt in fear. One, a pale-skinned elder, sobbed, "We surrender. We didn't know. It wasn't all of us." Riker looked down at him. "Surrender," he repeated. "You didn't offer us that." He raised his plasma pistol. "Earth doesn't need your surrender." He fired once, silence, then another, and another, until the throne room was empty, except for fire, across the galaxy. The Council's death was broadcast live by Earth's AI. Not as a message, not as a threat, as a lesson. Planets that once obeyed the Council now cheered. Former enemies of Earth wept in front of screens. Old Earth loyalists saluted their dead flag, and the universe learned a new truth. You cannot erase a Death World species. You can only run from it. But Riker wasn't done. Turned to Nova. "Is the chamber ready?" Nova nodded. "Everything's in place." Deep beneath the council building, in a hidden vault, Earth's operatives had discovered the truth. Not just the orders to erase Earth, but how it was done. The council didn't just fire weapons, they used planetary rewriters, bioweapons, climate destroyers, memory wipe tech. They had erased other civilizations too, thousands of them, or hidden. Or denied. Or victims. Earth was just one more test to them, but now, that truth would live forever. Earth's AI uploaded the Council's secret database into the Vela Universal Beacon built by Earth's engineers, a machine that sent uncensorable messages across every corner of the galaxy using gravity pulses. It could never be shut down, not without destroying half the galaxy. It spoke once in all languages. This is what they did. We are what remains. Choose your future. As Earth's flag was burned into the stone of the old council chambers, Nova stood beside Riker. He looked tired, worn but not weak. "Is it over?" she asked. He shook his head slowly. "No." "Then what's next?" Riker stared out over the burning city. And said, "Now we build something better, but first, we bury the past." High in orbit, the last command was given. The ENS Vengeance turned its main cannon downward. The Council's capital, their seat of power, their legacy. Riker's voice came through all Earth channels. "To all species who lost someone, this is for you." And with that, the throne of Varnak exploded in white fire. The sound echoed through space like a god screaming. Silence had fallen, but this time, it was Earth who controlled it. The Council was gone. Its towers had turned to ash. Its voice was silent, and the galaxy was holding its breath. On a quiet moon called Selvanine, a child looked up at the stars. "Mum," she asked, "is it true? The monsters are gone." Her mother, an ex-council worker turned refugee, nodded slowly. "Yes, sweet one, the monsters are gone. The humans took them away. But I thought the humans were the monsters." The mother knelt down, eyes filled with tears. "They were, once, because we made them that way." In deep space, the ENS Vengeance hovered silently. Captain Riker stood alone on the observation deck. Before him, stars glittered like diamonds. Behind him, Earth's fleet was reassembling. Thousands of ships, thousands of warriors. They had no more targets, no more war, but they had a mission to rebuild, to remember, to protect. Nova stepped beside him. "Council's gone. The galaxy's in shock. What now?" Riker didn't answer at first. He stared at the stars. Then said softly, "Now we give them a choice." Earth's AI had been busy. All across the galaxy. It deployed the archive, a giant database holding every truth that Council tried to bury. Extinct species, destroyed planets, hidden crimes. Earth didn't hide these horrors, they shared them, for everyone to see. Because only truth can stop the next evil. And Earth would not let history repeat. Riker stood in the central broadcast hall. The same signal room where the Council once ruled. He looked into the galactic lens and spoke to trillions. We are humans, you tried to erase us, you failed. Now we rise not as your enemies but as the voice you silenced. We are not gods, we are not saviors, we are survivors, and we are watching. From the wreckage of war, something strange began to grow. Hope. Planets once afraid of each other now open to trade. Species who once fought over scraps now shared tech. And Earth didn't demand tribute. Or control, or power. Earth offered protection. And justice. When pirates rose, Earth answered. When corruption returned, Earth exposed it. They didn't build an empire, they built a network, and they called it the Concord. New order. Made, not of laws but of oaths. Each species that joined had to promise only one thing: never again, never erase, never silence, never destroy for power. And Earth would hold them to it, because Earth would hold them to it. Because Earth. Rico became old, Nova became old, Nova became an admiral. The ENS Vengeance became a monument in orbit over Earth, its guns silent, its halls open to all. A museum. A warning, a story. Children walked its halls, touching the cold steel, reading names of those who died, and seeing messages from other worlds. Thank you, Earth. We are alive because you were angry. You taught us to never look away. And deep in the ship's core, a single plaque rested, carved in iron. Simple words. They thought humanity was gone, but Earth returned, with a score to settle. And so the galaxy changed. Not from fear, but from memory, because every time a world looked at the stars, they remembered the ones who came from a planet called Earth, a death world, a graveyard, a firestorm. And now, a guardian. The stars now speak our name, and they say it with respect, with warning, with awe, because Earth burned once, and if darkness rises again, then Earth will return. With fire, with fury. With silence, and the stars will scream it. Do not forget Earth.